Just double checking all my work. Got the electrical inspector coming by today, and I don't want him showing up seeing something that's not done. So I figured I'd take a last ditch look, kind of look around for wires, and maybe I'd skipped over an outlet box, hadn't stripped the wires back and made the grounds up, something like that. But I think I've got it all done. I do have a couple questions for him. I have, where I'm putting these lights in, they're like can lights. These lights right here, look at this. Found these at a little big box store. Get you a good look at them in the sun. The sun's just kind of coming up. So the light right here, it's an LED light. It's made more for a remodel, because you just drill a hole and then you put the wires in the back there, wire it all together, stuff it up into the hole. So you don't need the big old can light that's typical. Typically you have a big round can that holds the insulation and everything away from the light, because you had an incandescent bulb in it and you didn't want to catch your insulation on fire. The problem being is that these are going up. Where's a good loop? Here's a loop. See, I made a loop in the wire up there. Hopefully you can see that. That loop is where one of these can lights is going to go. Well, there isn't a lot of space for insulation up there in that 2x12 rafter. So I didn't want to have a traditional can light there, taking up all that space, letting all my heat go right out my roof. And I've got 5 can lights going across there. I've got, I think, 3 can lights up in the loft area. And yeah, these lights, they were inexpensive. I think they were 12 bucks, 11 bucks, 12 bucks a piece, something like that. And super easy to put in. I just don't know how he wants me to wire that for a rough-in inspection. I'm hoping that he understands I can't really wire it, because I've got to put the sheetrock, OSB, whatever's going to go up there. Got to put that up first, then drill a hole in it and put the can light in and wire it. And I don't want to cut the wires and strip them back and then have them be too short or offset somehow. Anyways, I'm hoping he's okay with just having a loop up there. He should be. All the rest of my boxes are all wired up. Got the wires here. This is a light switch box. 2 light switches, got 2 grounds, 2 hots coming in, my 3-way light for my fan, and my outside light switch. Everything else is done up. The outlet boxes are all pigtailed out, ready to go. I'm just hoping, crossing my fingers and hoping that I haven't missed anything or done something terribly wrong. So we'll see. He'll probably be here in a couple hours, I would guess. My inspectors don't usually show up at my place until the afternoon. I think one other time the county inspectors showed up in the morning. But usually I'm on the afternoon run because I'm kind of far out here. Whew, it's a little cold too. But we will see. And that's him coming down the road right now. Hang off a minute, guys. I'm gonna go walk him around my house and see how we're doing. Well, there it is. The little sticker that says we passed. It's kind of cold out here right now, but I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy. I got it all done. The rough end's all done in one shot. I didn't miss anything. He answered questions of mine for the next inspection, the way things were supposed to be laid out. He actually told me a couple things that I could do, including, oh, we'll go back right here. All these breakers, and I was told, had to be a ground fault or an arc fault or some special type of breaker. Only bathrooms and this laundry room and the kitchen need to be ground fault, arc fault breakers, or a combination of that. The rest can be regular breakers. So I did end up spending a bit more money than I had to on breakers, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave them since I can't return them. I'm gonna go ahead and leave them, and if they're a problem later, I know which ones I can swap out and still be within code. If the bathrooms or the kitchen ones decide they're gonna keep popping, I can replace them with a standard breaker and put a ground fault outlet as the first one in the series. It's not going to be code for this house and when this house is built, but it'll work the same way. And that's not what my inspector told me. He just looked at the panel and said, that looks great. But as we're walking around, he did mention the fact that the only rooms that have to have those breakers are the specific bathrooms, laundry room, and kitchen. So a little bit of extra money spent on breakers, but not a big deal. Man, I really wish that sun had kind of come in here and warm this place up. I'm pacing around because it's bloody cold right now. But I'm super happy we passed the electrical inspection. We are going to think about where we want to put a little mini split. What we're going to use as an air conditioner, we'll use a ductless mini split. We're probably going to put the main unit right outside that wall if we decide to do it. And then the head unit will go somewhere over here on this wall. What we're going to do before that, or until then, either way, we're going to put the wires in the walls. I've got specs for the wires that it takes to run a ductless mini split with one head unit. And our house is designed in such a way that the long eaves hanging down should keep a lot of the summer sun out. And we're using a lot of insulation. We have a lot of airflow around our house, so we're not sure if we're gonna need a ductless mini split to keep it cool in the summertime. But now's the time to run the wiring through the wall and have it coiled up and in place. In case we want to put one in, we can just punch a little hole in the wall, pull the wire out on both ends, and hook it up. So we'll take a little bit of thought process and planning to run that wire and just leave it in the walls, especially in the laundry room where the breaker is, because I'm not going to run the wires down into the breaker box. They'll be coiled up above it. But we're going to do that, and the line set, if we decide to put a unit in, can go up the outside of the wall, in through the eave that I've got going out there. We can hide it up in the eave and come out through in through the wall where the head unit will be, probably somewhere over here. Having to be careful of all those wires that are already there. But that's the only thing we're going to hide in the walls for the future. That's the only thing I can foresee us needing, possibly, if it gets too hot. And it only gets above 100 or only gets up to 100, usually around 95 to 100 for about a week out of the year. The rest of the time, it's perfectly comfortable. If we design our house right, should be fine. So all the electrical's done and ready to go. The next electrical inspection is the final, which is after all the walling goes up. You put the outlets on, the little bezels around them on. He said just cover them all up. He will go around with some type of thing that tells him whether it's wired correctly, and that's basically it. I'm assuming that final can't be done until we actually have power to the house, because there's really no way of testing a wire circuit unless it's got power to it. So that will be a while from now. Got to get insulation up and get going on some of the rest of this stuff. I've got to head into town. I've been working on the bird blocking up here, getting all these. I finished up drilling all the holes, but I've been going around the bird blocking with some silicone or some caulking. Give you a little idea. Just sealing them up really good. I don't like a drafty house, and most of all, I don't want bugs and stuff coming in. So the more sealing I do around all these little things, the less chance bugs are ever going to be able to come into my house. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got a little list of stuff I need to get at the hardware store, in amongst ducting for my fans for the bathrooms and more silicone for doing the bird blocks. Whew. At least my truck's going to be warm. I'm not going to start a fire in here today because I'm not going to be out here. There's the other little inspector. Always hiding somewhere, looking at something. My little daredevil climbing around the house. All right, guys, until next time, go make something.